morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebookians. As you can see, my dog Blizzard's in the video for once. He's looking at me like he wants a chicken fried steak sandwich, which we're having for supper tonight. So, or I should say me and Aaron's having it in, So, today I want to tell you, I got out of bed. I was asking Jesus to get me through it because I was lagging today. I was just like, ugh. So I got out of bed. I went to online, did my things, did all my books except two. I'm doing my books in the morning as well as my exercises. I'm trying to lose a little bit of this here so it's more, flatter. So I'm very conscious with that. So then we decided after our first errand of the day, we went to the post office. We came back. We decided to have an early lunch, which turned out pretty good. And then after the early lunch, I went and did some paperwork. Well, tomorrow I got some spreadsheets I want to modify, so I will modify the spreadsheets while Aaron's playing Dragon Age 1 Origins, which is a really awesome game. He's the mage. So what I'm looking forward to this in the entire game is I could sit there and give Aaron advice and say, oh, you could do this and that, but you can do it this way too. So Aaron doesn't think I'm stealing the show. I can give him full advice on the situation. So the other thing is besides planning to modify those spreadsheets, Aaron and I decided we weren't going to call the doctor's office yet. He decided, and I was hoping he'd give me his input or speak in this video about it, but he basically decided to lambaste someone who's supposedly a transgendered advocate working with advocacy groups.
Yeah, this has cream cheese in these buns.
So, that's nice, Aaron.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I didn't expect him to have cream cheese.
Anyways, while he's preparing things, he wrote out this nice email.
Yes, here's what happened.
And I'm not going to give names. We don't want to slander the guy.
First, the doctor calls us and leaves his personal number. And then I call him a week later, and I mention Rita. And he's like, who? I'm like, Rita? Who? You called her last week. I did? Who is she? So finally he's like, oh, her. And he's like, where are you located? I'm like, our email to you said Washington State. What don't you understand about an email that says Washington State? That's what I'm thinking in my head. So anyways, I tell him Washington State, and then he says, well, why don't you find someone closer to you? But if you have to come through me, then that's fine. You can come through me. So we decided, okay, and we talked to him, and he says, all right, you'll need to set up a consultation. Call my employee, Sandra. Well, I'd just spoken to Sandra about a week before. Sorry, in case you might know. Anyway, she said, Nurse 1 no longer worked there, and Nurse 2, who we were told to contact, is on extended leave. So anyways, I told the doctor this on the phone call, and he says, what? I didn't know about this. I'll call over there now. And by the way, speak to this person when you talk to the, Sandra. So I leave a message for this person, type an email out, because we happen to know them. We knew them years ago. They'd given us some advice, and they were fairly nice about things. Fairly. I did have a little problem. They kept wanting to talk over me, and I had to tell them, hey, have a little respect and let me finish what I'm saying. But then they did the same thing to me, and I had to cut them off. Anyways.
Purely a jackwagon.
Yeah, they don't understand how businesses run or how you deal with customers in the first place. Anyways, they used to be an advocate who ended up getting this doctor all set up. But anyways, we said, well, we're supposed to call Sandra and set up a consultation. And the doctor wants us to set up a consultation, but he told us to contact you, and we don't know really why we need to contact you. Well, then he says, sorry, I shouldn't say he.
Them.
Them.
Don't know what gender
because I don't really know their gender. It's an ambiguous name, and I've seen a picture of them, and it's a very ambiguous-looking picture. So, anyways, they end up telling me on the in the email well, you'll have to set up a consultation before I can do anything. So we write them back and say, okay, well, send us whatever we need to set up the consultation then. And then they write an email back, oh, I set up the consultations and appointments, and we don't do things like that. Give me a call. And call about 7 or 8 a.m. Eastern Standard, 6 to 8 a.m. 6 to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because that's the only hours I work.
No, 10 to 12 Eastern.
Sorry, 10 to 12 Eastern Standard Time. That's like, our time is 7 to 9 or whatever.
Yes.
Anyways, he asked for us to call at a time in which we're just waking up. We didn't even get the email till after they had already left their office. So I ended up sending an email and said, hey, what gives? You're the person who sets up consultations, but you can't set up a consultation without a consultation, and you don't work that way. I said, your entire office is acting disorganized, out of sync with each other. You have no idea who even works for you anymore. You're telling us that you set up the consultation, but you don't set up the consultation unless you have a consultation, and you can't set up the consultation. Excuse me? That makes no sense whatsoever. So, of course, I sent him a blastogram saying, hey, what gives? You used to be an advocate wanting to help people. Now you're acting like a prick. I said, is the reason for this because Rita has these various disabilities and might be able to get it covered for facial feminization surgery? And is it a form of jealousy is the reason you don't want to help? But anyways, there are reasons physically for Rita to possibly be able to get it where it might not even be considered a facial feminization as much as it would be a, I don't know the proper term for it, because I don't know what their things are. Anyways, I got oil heating.
Then we did our review of a cigar. It was really tasty. I thought it'd be shorter than it was, but it was longer, just like Aaron thought one was shorter yesterday, and it was 2 hours. So, so today we've been doing a little bit of emailing. We did get into, I did do some paperwork, got done, and then Aaron finished up Dragon Age. Then we decided to try this game. Apparently there's problems with it freezing now. I've heard this happens even on multi-system,
I have a feeling it's when you get into high enough difficulty level, because we never had that problem before.
So, anyway, I went into it. Single player mode, no problem. I only had Aaron help me with a boss because my tactics would have got me killed, but Aaron was sitting there playing his DS, and I was under mini sub-bosses, and he's like, yeah, you're doing great, you're doing great. Oh, yeah, do that. Oh, yes, you're doing great. And I got through these mini-bosses, and I was timing it and dodging, and, so I got it done. He's like, you're doing great. So, anyway, so tonight's plan is I got 2 Bibles to read. I got Dragon Age 2 to play. I also got to get into eventually replaying, or not replaying, but loading up my DS and playing Etrian 1 and beating it. I also talked to Aaron about some projects. He actually liked my idea of a mini project, so I'm going to propose to, not propose it, but actually actions speak louder than words. So I'm going to go ahead and probably hammer them out in the next 2 or 3 days and then send them over to my desktop, and then it'll be done. And then me and Aaron knows exactly what we're doing. So, and then we can actually sit down and actually think about it. So, because I talked to him about it today, so he's good.
I would really like to know, for any of you out there, how these are classified as hoagie rolls when they got cream cheese spread inside them.
Looks good in my opinion.
And this is for country fried steak with country gravy on it. I think the cream cheese would affect the gravy, so I don't think I can do the gravy on it.
So here's a funny...
So I'm not doing the gravy.
Here's something else that you guys might laugh at. So, yesterday I went into my apartment manager, and we were talking about contacting... Huh?
You went into her? What, what do you call it? Overtook her body and...
Anyways, I went into her office, we talked, and my neighbor downstairs came in, and she's talking about how she doesn't know how to cook these little chickens. I says, oh, well, I'll gladly take them off your hand. Well, we got them. Turns out they're 8 years old. She got the last laugh with me. So, anyways, so today we're just gonna relax. You know, Aaron's gonna do dinner. He's going home. He's got to go and use his phone with a friend of ours. He's more Aaron's friend than mine, but I warned Aaron outright. You know, be careful because he doesn't want to lose his phone again. Oh, and talking about phones for a second. This morning I had a small problem, so I'm going to be trying my phone over there. And I will charge it when the time comes. It's like the charging connector wasn't connecting. So I had to Google the problem last night, and then I prayed this morning. So finally I got it plugged in properly, and then it started charging. So Aaron's just like, oh, well, you've had trouble with Motorola, go with something else. So I will look into going with something else. So I also want to tell you, when I sent out business letters, I sent 8 letters out to video game makers, and I sent 12 letters out to businesses possibly for future layaways. 2 came in out of 12. That just leaves 10, minus 3, by the way, because I know the 3 personally. So 9 letters haven't come in. And so you understand, I've written over 900 doctors nationwide that works on transgendered people. I've emailed them all. I've gotten 7 emails back, and I got 4 letters back out of 900. It's like when I was interested in getting custom knife makers, and there's this big book.
Nobody responds to letters.
No one responds to letters, and the books I had that had their address and everything didn't even have a web address. It was just a phone number, and it's like, I'm not, you know, so I write them, and I get nothing. So, you know, it's like no one cares to reply back anymore. I was complaining somewhat to Jessie Girl about it. But anyways, this video has gone long enough, so please add and subscribe. Please post comments, leave feedback, suggestions. Thank you. And may God bless you all.